EA Sports. It's in the game.
This is a special presentation of EA Sports from the Coliseum in Oakland. Our tribute to the coach, the John Madden Legacy Game. I'm Brandon Gaudin here to take you through the proceedings. And coming up, we're going to tell the story of a man who was truly larger than life and whose impact on the sport of football, certainly it's going to live on for decades and decades to come. Now, we've assembled a couple of rosters featuring some of Coach's favorite players from both yesterday and today. And Coach himself will be on the sidelines for both squads, trying to motivate his guys to victory. I'm joined now by my good friend Charles Davis. CD, your thoughts on John Madden and what he meant to the sport he loves so much?
For me, Brandon, it's the word joy. He brought that to the game of football and brought the game to so many people. He stayed involved his entire life. And moving forward, when you think of football, you're always going to think John Madden.
One time for old times. What do you say we play some football as we are underway from Oakland in the John Madden Legacy Game? And he had no room to run as he's tackled down inside the 20. So it's the NFC stars who will get the ball first. And Charles, as we alluded to, we've got a different era of coach on each sideline. So the man coaching this NFC squad, we'll call him Young John Madden. This is a coach who was trying to establish a foothold in the NFL and on the cusp of doing it very successfully.
Yeah, you think back to that period, those early days as the coach of the Raiders, the late 60s in the AFL, and then in the NFL in the early 70s. Coach was a guy who was ahead of his time. The Raiders were one of the first teams to have mini camps, one of the first to film practice, because he wanted to practice coaching as much as he could. And his teams, they were successful right from the start of his head coaching tenure.
And only a couple there up to about the 23-yard line. So as we mentioned at the top, well, let's take you through the life of John Madden. And, you know, it's very fitting that we're here back in the Bay Area, not just because John's so associated with Raider football, but also because this was where he spent his formative years.
Yeah, he grew up over in Daly City with his buddy John Robinson, who would also become an NFL head coach. He played his high school ball at Jefferson High, eventually wound up playing tackle at the University of Oregon, and later Cal Poly San Luis Obispo. Played well enough that in 1958, he was a 21st round draft pick of the Philadelphia Eagles. That's right, the draft had 30 rounds then.
It's a big play for the NFC on third down. 44 yards. On 1st and 10, it's Sanders. And he's got this down almost to the 20 before he's dropped. 11 more yards that go around, a first down as well. But Charles, you mentioned Coach was a 21st round draft pick back in 1958. It was the Philadelphia Eagles who selected him. But unfortunately for John, knee problems, they just continued to dog him. He was hurt in his first training camp. Actually never saw the field as a player in the NFL. But it was still during his time with the Eagles. You and I were talking about this before going on air, that you could start to see the light bulb going on for what his career path might entail.
And it went on in a big way, didn't it? Because while he was rehabbing his knee, he started to spend a lot of time breaking down film with the Eagles with quarterback Norm Van Brocklin, the future Hall of Famer and future head coach in the NFL. Remember, Norm Van Brocklin coached with the Falcons, he coached with the Vikings. And was there during that time. I think Coach Madden realized his love of football and love for teaching, combining all that together, and that meant being a football coach. So in 1960, began his coaching career at a small college south of San Luis Obispo called Allen Hancock, and then later at San Diego State University under another legendary coach, the guy who could throw it around pretty well, Don Coryell.
Going for it with Sanders. And he gets the first down yardage before he's brought down just outside the 10 at the 11.
Well, that's what's called being aggressive right there. But I don't know that it's reckless. I think it's much more of a message. Hey, defense, I believe in you in case we don't get it. And offense, trying to let him know he believes in them as well.
I like it. Your first drive of the game in plus territory, be aggressive. So we're 3-1 at the Coliseum in Oakland. The NFC with the football here to begin the second quarter. Now we're 1st and 10 at the 11. counter now with Sanders. And he is going to lose yardage here. He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11.
Sometimes you just sit back and marvel at what he can do defensively. Speed, strength, quickness. He's the whole package, and that package just wrapped up the runner for a loss.
Here's Favre to throw. Over the middle, that's hauled in by Cup. Down to the 6-yard line on a pickup of 6 as he gets halfway to the goal line.
It's a game of matchups, and that's why you take your receivers and move them around a bunch, especially your best guys. And when they work out of the slot, you often hear the coaches talk about how great it is because it gives you a...
And it'll be intercepted. Picked off by Rob Woodson. And he will bring it out past the 20-yard line.
Definitely not the ideal time to see that mistake, partner, because this is still a one-possession game, and that's at least a field goal that just vanished with that turnover. Now, pressure's on defensively to prevent that pick from turning into points for the other side.
So, Charles, as mentioned, we've got another Coach Madden over here on the AFC sideline. Of course, his Raiders, members of the AFC West. So this is a conference he battled in for his entire career. And you think about the landscape of the NFL as he was getting into the back half of his tenure. It was a golden era for coaches. You had Don Shula, Tom Landry, Chuck Noll, Bud Grant. But it was John Madden who had the best winning percentage of them all, CD. 759, the best ever.
Brandon, it's hard to believe he could be so successful in a conference with all those great teams. The Steelers won 4 Super Bowls. The Dolphins won 2 and were a mainstay in the playoffs. The Colts were tough. The Broncos came on late and went to a Super Bowl themselves. But against Hall of Fame coaches, John Madden's record, 36, 16, and 2. That's pretty incredible. His Raiders were a factor each and every year.
Brady's throw on 3rd down there is incomplete.
As a defensive back, you have some weapons at your disposal that we don't often talk about. And you can read the receiver's eyes, you can read his hands, and you know that the arrival of the ball is imminent, and that allows you to make a play on it and oftentimes knock it away.
So they're forced to punt on 4th as this one's away. On the return, Hester. A 41-yard punt, 9 on the return. And the NFC will take over 1st and 10. With the NFC offense coming out here. And you know, Charles, Coach Madden always said that if he had one drive to win a game and he had to pick a quarterback, he would pick Kenny Stabler. But I think if you asked him to omit any of his Raiders players, there's a good chance the guy he'd select would be Brett Favre.
Brett Favre is always smiling. He's always laughing. He's always talking to someone. He remembers that it's a game, and if it's a game, you should have fun.
And Brandon, that always reminds me of a great movie line where one of the players was telling the coach, every time I say it's a game, you say it's a business, and every time I say it's a business, you say it's a game. With Coach, it was always a game.
Favre on 2nd down. And this one taken in on the right sideline, but not in the field of play. They say it's incomplete. The throw led him a little too far. It brings up 3rd down. To throw is Favre. He's going to drop this down to Sanders. And this won't be enough. A good secure tackle, and they stop him a few yards shy at the 46. That one good for only 6, and it leaves him with a 4th down. Here's Mitch Wishnowski now on to punt. Back deep, 2-time Pro Bowler Dante Hall. Yikes. Terrible kick headed straight for the sidelines. And this one will not be returnable as it sails out of bounds. But the AFC making their way out, and it's one of Coach's favorites, another local guy, Tom Brady, who will be at the controls. And boy, Coach always admired the way number 12 could run an offense, and especially his ability to stay calm under pressure.
Tom Brady is a guy who's always looking downfield. He never looks at the rush. He hangs in the pocket, and he makes a throw. He's a cool guy. He's a tough guy. Let me tell you, there's no one calmer in the pocket than Tom Brady.
And I know that Coach has a great appreciation for Tom Brady, who turned 45 back on August 3rd, because Coach coached a guy like him in George Blanda, who played a long time in the NFL. In this game, it features legends and active players. Tom Brady qualifies as both.
Now the NFC going to take a timeout, their 2nd, as the clock will stop with just under 30 seconds to go in the 1st half. They'll come to the line here needing 9 yards to pick up the first. Throwing is Brady on third down. Well, the NFC pressure a little too much as they get home for the sack. Now the defense will burn their third and final timeout. And with halftime on the horizon, they'll be out of timeouts from here forward. On is the Hall of Famer Ray Guy to punt this away on fourth down. His first punt, 45 yards. This looks good as well. Here's Hester. Good move at the 30. A good return there, 17 yards. And control of the football, switching hands with very little time remaining until the half. The NFC heading back out. Hall of Famer Randy Moss a part of this offense. And Coach Madden, boy, he always appreciated the ferociousness with which number 84 attacked the football in the air.
As Randy Moss says, just chunk it up there, dog, and I'll go get it.
And, Coach, boy, did he ever go get it. Over 15,000 receiving yards, 156 touchdowns. And how about this? From his rookie year of 1998 until 2009, those were his prime seasons, right? He led the league in touchdowns 5 times, but even more so, he showed us all how to go up and get it. Great body control. No one's ever done it better playing the ball in the air.
And they're going to get this to about the 44-yard line. We're coming up in the second half. We'll run through John's post-coaching triumphs. But for now, we present a special tribute to the man of the hour, narrated by the Raiders' own Trey Mosley. We now proceed to the start of the second half. Boy, Charles, yeah, that is really well done. Coach was something else, wasn't he?
I'm reminded what Al Davis said when he was inducting coach of the Pro Football Hall of Fame, Brandon. He loved the game. He loved his team. He loved the Raiders. He loved this league. And you can see it with everything he does.
No doubt. But it's quite possible, though, that now he would say, hey, enough of that. Let's play some football. The second half forthcoming from Oakland. And he's able to take this one up to the 35-yard line. So now, Charles, to pick up the story we've been telling, John Madden at 42, he just completed a 10-year stint as the coach of the Raiders. He wants to step away a bit from the grind of coaching, but he doesn't want to step away from the game of football. So he ends up signing on with CBS in 1979 to try his hand at broadcasting. And much like his coaching career, he was pretty much an instant success.
Partner, he really connected with the people right from the start, and people may not remember, he wasn't even on the #1 team in the beginning. He worked his way up. But the same things that made him a great coach made him a great broadcaster. The ability to show the big picture, yet break it down into the details. That's what he did with his teams. That's what he did with the people. That way, he was simple to understand, yet insightful for viewers. He did with that big personality that he had, one that connected with everyone.
They'll come to the line, needing only 2 yards to gain the first here. They keep it on the ground. Allen again. So for Coach Madden, Charles, by 1981, his broadcasting career is really taking off. He's elevated to the network's #1 booth that calls all the big matchups. And he gets the plum assignment of calling Super Bowl 16, 49ers and Bengals, and he's teamed up with Pat Summerall. And that pairing ultimately would go on to be one of the most influential in sports broadcasting history.
Influential not just in us listening to them. Remember, they went on and called 8 Super Bowls together. But how they put together kind of the template that all of us broadcasters follow now. Sitting down with the head coaches and the quarterbacks and the stars of each team before a ball game to get extra information. And the way that those two paired together, Pat Summerall, short, concise, to the point, and turned it over to Coach Madden to fill in all the big details.
Here's Allen. And a short gain here, down to the 22. As you mentioned, CD, talking about John Madden, the broadcaster, he called 8 Super Bowls with Pat Summerall, 3 more with Al Michaels later in his career. He spent nearly 3 decades in the booth all told. And not only was he beloved for his mannerisms, we know that, but he was an innovator as well.
Yeah, Brandon, you're talking about things like the telestrator, which totally became identified with him, and now it's a staple.
Back now here on EA Sports, as it looks like we are just about set and ready to begin with the fourth. Blitz coming and down he goes. It'll be a sack and a loss of 3, but more importantly, it brings up 4th down. He found his way into the backfield, and he simply would not be denied.
Well, they say that life's all about opportunities, and that holds true when you're playing defense as well. How about him seeing that chance, making the most of it, did a great job of wrapping him up and bringing him down.
Vinatieri's kick is good, and they have taken the lead here in the 4th quarter. So he waited on the sideline for his first chance in the ballgame, and it didn't come until the 4th quarter, but he connects there, a big one to give him the lead.
Boy, you talk about coming in cold. I don't care how many times you kick it into a net. You're not really ready when you go out there and all that beef is coming at you trying to block the kick. Big spot, and he delivers.
And after the made field goal, here's Adam Vinatieri to kick it away. This taken in at the goal line. And he won't get this to the 20-yard line as he's down at the 19. Ready to begin their next drive here, the NFC offense. I'll tell you what, it's kind of hard to imagine. They have not scored a single point, and yet they're in this position, a touchdown drive here, and they're in the lead.
Normally, when you have 0 on your side of the ledger on the scoreboard, you're a little bit discouraged. But when they look over and see their opponents, they don't see a number that's way out there. They don't see a number they can't attain. In fact, they can get it right here on this drive and potentially take the lead.
So 1st and 10 now from the 30. Favre. The same target, same result. It's Kittle. Now, CD, we did get a little ahead of ourselves talking about John Madden, the broadcaster in the 90s and 2000s, because there was another product during that time period that he became quite famous for, and it's something that you and I know a little bit about, and that's the video game that bears his name. Originally John Madden Football when it was first released back in the late 1980s, and now known the world over simply as Madden.
And Coach saw this originally as a way to teach the game of football. The early designs were for a 7-on-7 game, but he said no chance. He would not sign off on it. He wanted to be as realistic as possible. He told them, call me when it's 11-on-11, and he got his wish.
Yeah, after that debut, Madden the video game continued to pick up steam through the 90s in a big way, and John himself, many will remember, was a commentator for the series for many years. And now here we are in the 2020s, and this game has sold somewhere in the neighborhood of 150 million copies. Complete, it's Johnson. And not much happening there. He's taken down, but a late penalty flag in the backfield. This looks like a roughing call. But Charles, they're trying to protect this lead late. Those are the types of mistakes they could afford to go without.
About the last thing you want to give them is help in completing a comeback, which is exactly what that penalty does.
Favre's throw here, hauled in by Cup. And they'll have it in the red zone before he crosses over out of bounds. So, CD, you look at the accumulation of John Madden's achievements in the world of football, the coaching success, the Super Bowl title, the incredible career as a broadcaster with 12 Emmy Awards, Madden the video game. It was very fitting back at... And that's going to be caught. Touchdown NFC. Randy Moss. An 18-yard touchdown grab. And the NFC has taken the lead.
Well, partner, this hasn't been the smoothest day for him, but he certainly picked the right time to get right, as they like to say. How about that for a touchdown?
Boy, he did. I guess they say all's well that ends well. It's not over yet, but you're right. He picked a good time for that first touchdown pass.
Exactly right. Not over yet. The defense is going to have to make it hold up.
They do tack on the extra point as well, and that makes it a 7-3 lead. That time a 6-play drive, and it's finished off by an NFC touchdown. Following the touchdown, here's Anderson to kick it away. This one taken just inside the 10. And they're going to start in a hole as he's brought down at the 11. The AFC offense set to take their next drive. And last time able to get 3. It's not what they wanted. They wanted 6, but they got at least something. They mustered something out of the drive.
They'll take it. I like the way you described it. Not ideal, but they'll take it. Anything to put some points on the board. But this time on offense, they don't want to see the field goal kicker trot on the field. They want that ball in the end zone.
Yeah, they'll be going for 6. You think about John Madden in his retirement years post-broadcasting. He was about as active as most people are in their working years. I mean, he continued to play a key role on the NFL's competition committee. He was available to a wide range of people as a tutor, as a mentor. He continued to teach the game of football to all who would listen. And Charles, as you and I know, he even continued to provide input, a lot of input on the Madden video game.
Yeah, I know a lot of folks that design and build this game certainly look forward to the yearly visits out to the Madden compound that he had out in the East Bay.
Oh, this is intercepted, intended for Hill. Picked up by the Hall of Famer Ronnie Lott. And he's going to bring this one back for an NFC touchdown. Well, I mean, both offenses have clearly struggled throughout, so kind of fitting that it's another big defensive play that yields points here in the late going.
Yeah, really, both of these defenses have been up to the task throughout this game, and we haven't seen much in terms of offensive creativity or results. And there, not only does the defense force a turnover, but they have the presence of mind to take it back for 6 points.
Following the touchdown, here's Anderson to kick it away. Fielded right around the 8. And he'll take it up past the 25 to the 26-yard line. The offense for the AFC set to go now. Well, this is just an exercise in futility. Do you even bother running a play here offensively?
I wouldn't, because now is not going to erase what's happened during the game. So after it's over, you're going to go to the film, find out where the game was really lost. But this is not a situation now where you're going to make up for anything.
We'll see what they do here. Brady's throw complete here to his receiver, Brown. And able to get this one. So it's a win here for the NFC. Just an incredible afternoon of football and remembering the life of John Madden. And before we go,
I'm your host, the coach. For this next challenge, you need to complete all the challenge goals to get the win. You can view the goals at any time from the pause menu.
On first down, Brady.
Taking you the rest of the way, here's Brandon Godden and Charles Davis. Brandon.
Thank you, Coach. We pick up this challenge in quarter number 1 with less than 3 minutes left on the clock. We're still without a score, tied at 0. You've got the ball on your own 25-yard line. First and 10. Brady now on first down. And that nearly intercepted. The free safety rolling into position, almost had it, but it's second down. Throwing now is Brady. Well, the catch is made here by Tyler Lockett. And he'll be tackled right on the chalk of the 45. His first catch of the game, good for 11 and a first down.
And that's a more than acceptable read right there because it's zone coverage, so timing is everything. This time he waits for his man to come open, puts it right on him, and they pick up a first down.
On first and 10, here's Brady. The catch made by DeAndre Hopkins. And they're able to work this across midfield to the 48. They fake the handoff. Now Brady. Got his man complete over the middle. That's Adams. And he's going to be taken down with the first down at the Ravens 37. A nice pickup there of 11 yards, and it'll move the sticks. Line of scrimmage, the 37 on first and 10. A shotgun handoff to Henry. A nice run there, 9 yards, and it'll be second down.
A nice run here early on. It doesn't take a great play caller to realize you want to establish a guy of his caliber who runs like this early because they'll pay dividends as the game progresses.
Henry again on second down. 6 yards the pickup, and that's a first down.
Yeah, once more, strong running. Excellent blocking at the point of attack. They've got a nice little drive brewing right here.
Now Brady on the bootleg. Looking for Hopkins, and he's got him on the crossing route. And they are able to stop him, but he does take it all the way to the 2. A good pickup there of 20 yards. They'll try and run for it with Henry. And he'll take this one in for a Packer touchdown. Derrick Henry taking it in from 2 yards out. And the Packers go.
For this next challenge, you need to complete all the challenge goals to get the win. You can view the goals at any time from the pause menu.
About set to get this drive started, the Green Bay offense at the line. And, partner, I know so far, and we're still in the first half, but you love this game as a defensive guy. 0-0. We'll see if the offense can get going on this drive.
But you know how they talk about music to your ears? How about what it does for your eyes when you watch something like this, right? Where these teams are locked in and going at it, no points going up on the scoreboard. I'm loving it. You're exactly right.
Well, switch over, though, to an offensive mindset for a moment. What do they need to do?